I'm Fran Notarianni. I'm a member of Kleinbard's litigation department, and part of my practice area includes election law, litigation involving government officials, government entities, and constitutional matters. And this here is my colleague, Shohin Vance.
Thanks, Fran. I'm Shohin Vance, and I'm a partner here in Kleinbard's litigation department. My practice focus is much like Fran's, political law and election law matters. During my time here at Kleinbard, we've handled a number of high-profile cases, including high-profile election matters that have ended up in the various courts in Pennsylvania.
And we're coming out of a primary election and into a general election, so we're starting to get a lot of questions on what to expect this November. Shohin, can you tell us what to expect?
Well, I think the one thing that you can expect, and that's really common every year, is that you're going to have 67 different mini elections in Pennsylvania, and that's because you have 67 different counties, each of whom have their own procedures and practices in place for handling certain types of issues that come up. And so what that leads to is a patchwork of different rules that candidates and voter groups and campaigns need to be aware of and understand.
You mentioned patchwork. What are some common issues that arise just by the nature of there being 67 different mini elections?
This can affect a number of different aspects of election administration, but in particular, two come to mind. One is the area of mail-in ballots. So you may have certain counties that allow drop boxes, certain counties that don't. Also, different counties treat different defects on mail-in ballots differently, whether it's a lack of a signature or a secrecy envelope or whatever the case may be.
Or the lack of a date?
Or lack of a date, an issue that we have litigated successfully several times in the past. Second issue that comes up has to do with provisional ballots, which is something that we've also successfully litigated here at Kleinbard. But different counties, again, handle those things differently, and it's important to be aware of that and understand that going into the election.
And can you explain a little bit about provisional ballots, what they are, and what kind of issues arise relating to them specifically?
Yeah, so a provisional ballot is a ballot that is issued to a voter on election day whose eligibility to vote cannot be verified at the polling location. This may be because they don't have the identification that they need because they're a first-time voter. It can also happen because their name simply isn't in the poll book or the voter registry. And in that case, a voter is issued a provisional ballot, which they fill out, and that ballot is counted separately, and it's only counted if the identity and eligibility of the voter can be verified after the election at the County Board of Elections. And provisional ballots may not get as much attention as mail-in ballots do, but they certainly can make the difference in an election. In 2020, for example, there were over 100,000 provisional ballots cast in Pennsylvania.
You're right, and when candidates and campaigns are thinking about provisional ballots, that typically means the election's close and they care how they're counted or if they're counted at all.